We're joined by Andrew Worland, Managing Director and CEO of International Graphite. Andrew, thanks for your time.
Great to see you again, David.
A big milestone recently announced, the commissioning of the micronizing production facility in Collie here in Western Australia. A big milestone. Why is it so important?
Thanks, David. Yeah, it was a great outcome for us. It's the culmination of, I guess, the first 12 to 18 months of the company's evolution in downstream processing. We've been putting together a downstream business platform for that period of time since we've been listed. Micronizing is the first step in the production of battery anode materials, but it also has its own markets. And when you go through the battery anode material process, you end up with byproducts that need to be found a home for. We've decided to establish a micronizing facility in Collie, a commercial operation in Collie, as a means of getting into the market, establishing a brand and generating cash flow for us during that period of time when most companies are in the development phase and looking to draw capital from the capital markets and other sources. So it really had 3 or 4 really important business drivers for us. And we've been really well supported by the local community and government trying to bring new industry to Collie. At our opening on Monday, we had members of the South West Development Commission, Jobs, Tourism, Science and Innovation from government, as well as representatives from the Premier and Cabinet and the Collie Business Delivery Unit. So we've got a lot of community support down there for building out what's the first stage of our production ambitions.
And how does that project develop?
So from here we will essentially produce some micronized samples for market, and we'll take those to various customers both here in Australia and around the world. And then we'll use those customer sales and verification processes to put in place formal agreements, sufficient agreements to be able to allow us to make a final investment decision. We'd anticipate that around Q3 of this year, and then make the $12.5 million capital investment to bring that existing plant up to a 4,000 tonne per annum facility. And then we become quite a serious player then globally in the micronised graphite product market.
And at the same time, you're also developing the integrated mine to market project in the southwest of Western Australia.
Yep.
Recently announced a scoping study. What were some of the highlights?
Yeah, there was a really pleasing outcome. We managed to produce a mine capital and operating cost that we think is unbelievably competitive on the global scale. So a 500,000 tonne per annum concentrator producing 40 to 50,000 tonnes of graphite concentrate. The capex estimate for that was $76 million Aussie, and the operating cost was somewhere around $480 per tonne delivered to Collie. That's US dollars. And so from a global perspective, that capital cost and operating cost intensity is highly competitive, and in the costs, in terms of operating costs, we'll be in the bottom third and pushing to the bottom quartile of producers. That 40 to 50,000 tonne of concentrate will then come to Collie for downstream processing, trucked from Hopetoun. So it's a 450 kilometre journey, and then we would take it through the 3 to 4 stages of battery anode material manufacturing that allows us then to sell essentially into that final market.
Where to from here? What should investors be focusing on from the company over the next 6 to 12 months?
So I think some of the really important milestones for us will be the completion of the feasibility study towards the back end of this year for Springdale. We'll do more drilling down at Springdale to boost the indicated resource and do some more exploration at our Mason Bay discovery that we came up with last year. We'll go through the normal permitting processes. We don't envisage any hiccups in that. It's all on a cleared agricultural land down there at Hopetoun. So we would expect a very smooth and seamless permitting process. On the downstream, we'll be doing all of our battery test work both at Collie and battery anode test work both at Collie and probably in Germany as well, which is where the industry standard test work programs are done, and put together what we hope would be feasibility studies between 2 hardcovers by the end of this calendar year. That'll be really a catalyst, I think, that process for the introduction of a significant equity investor and partner for the project, and that will be our target for our funding initiatives during the course of this year. So we're getting a lot of inbound interest, having released that scoping study, into what we're trying to achieve at Springdale, and of course being Western Australian focused is a major attraction for all the international groups that are seeking to get that supply chain certainty.
Tier 1 jurisdiction, a clear path to production, ticking all the boxes, exciting times ahead for International Graphite and its shareholders. Andrew, thanks for your time.
Pleasure.